Hi, it's Eva Cartman, and you're listening to the Dream Big Podcast Show, the place to go to learn, laugh, and grow. This week's guest, Michael Hirsch, is amazing, and the organization he runs in Oklahoma, called Loveworks, is truly incredible. I know this because a few months ago, I visited Loveworks with my mom, met Michael and his team, and saw firsthand how they are training the next generation of leaders and big dreamers. This is episode 148. You ready? It's time to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big Podcast Show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Hi, big dreamers. Before I introduce Michael Hirsch, I wanted to let you know that you can now get my free Confidence Secrets course, which is over 1 hour of me teaching you about how to develop your superpower of self-belief. This Confidence Secrets course is going to be part of the Dream Big Academy that we launch later this year. But for a limited time, we are offering access to this content for free at dreambigpodcast.com/beta. If you're a younger big dreamer listening to this, please ask your parents to help you get it. Again, it's completely free for a limited time, so please take advantage and get the course while you still can at dreambigpodcast.com/beta. Okay, now let's turn our attention to this week's amazing guest, Michael Hirsch. Michael is a longtime listener of the Dream Big podcast, and earlier this year, he emailed my mom to see if I would be interested in being the keynote speaker of the summer leadership camp run by the organization he leads, Loveworks. I had no experience as a speaker, but Michael believed in me, and he believed that the campers would connect with me. We accepted the invitation, and earlier this summer, my mom and I flew to Oklahoma. Needless to say, we were blown away with what we saw. You'll learn more about my experience and the great work Michael and his team are doing at Loveworks in the interview. So let's get to it. We'll include everything we discuss in our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/148. Without further ado, here's my interview with Michael Hirsch. Let's roll the tape.
Hi, Eva. How you doing? It is an absolute thrill. It is so great to hear your voice. It is. Well, I'm glad I at least appeared to have made a good first impression. So thanks for wanting to have me on the show. Yes. Oh, well, thank you. Well, it was you were a huge part of just the success of the week that we had an impact with our students. Just to watch after your talk, our students approach you and ask you questions, and just overhearing them, even over lunch, talk about how much your session impacted them. I mean, it's still a topic of conversation here around the Loveworks campus. Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm gonna do my very best when you release your speaking tour to make sure that hopefully Oklahoma back in the Midwest can get on your speaking tour. Yeah, absolutely. So the mission of Loveworks is to see each student that we work with really being given an opportunity to begin to discover their purpose, their passion, and to begin to live into their dreams. It's our vision is that every student that we work with, we want to give them an opportunity to discover their leadership and really to give them an opportunity to lead in some kind of way. Very well said. Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. Something that we talk a lot about here at Loveworks, even when we started our organization, is that we wanted to be or we wanted to create a leadership organization that would help the dreams of our students to come alive. And we talk about the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. And something that I'll say in front of audiences is that I believe that between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m. are when the most dreams of students go to sleep. And so we wanted to create a very unique environment for students that would look and that would feel different than school. And school's designed, to be educational, but we wanted to provide an environment that would look different, that would feel different, that would be colorful. And when you first walk into our campus, and so you mentioned, yes, there is a 32,000 ball pit with big letters right above the ball pit on the wall that says "Dreams come true here." And I just believe that that's just a beautiful picture of what we want this place to be. We like to say that, we want to become the Disney World of leadership, a place that students would be attracted to come to. And again, it's that place that they know that they're going to, walk into a space that's going to have a special environment created for them. They're going to be surrounded by people that are going to accept them, that are going to love them unconditionally. And then they're going to be given intentional opportunities to be able to explore and to be able to discover, their interests. And that hopefully will lead into passion, and then ultimately will hopefully lead into them living into their dreams. I like that personal play. If you don't mind, Eva, that personal playground statement, we may have to use that in some of our language, and I will definitely give you credit for it. I can. Yeah, I really believe that today, and I wouldn't say it's just new to this generation of students, but what I have observed is that I really do believe that students today, a lot of students live really in a world of distractions. And whether that's a distraction because of a mobile device or a screen, we do know, and statistics and research tell us that we are being bombarded with more ads and messages than we ever have before. we even see very, very well-intentioned parents that are overcommitting, students to be involved, in different things. And even some students, maybe 5, 6, or 7 days a week, they have something going on. And so what I really feel that's really special about our week of summer leadership is its singular focus that we give our students. And so in other words, like a menu at a restaurant, if you and I, Eva, and your mom and dad and Sylvia were able to go to a restaurant, we get a menu and we'd select what we wanted to eat. And so our students experience something similarly, although it's not food, but it's an area of interest, like you already mentioned. And so they may have the opportunity to be involved in gardening, or it could be woodworking, triathlon, culinary, and art are just a few of the opportunities that they have. And again, they work with various professionals in our community, in that particular area and just on one project. And then that's where I see over the course of just a few days, the real magic happens. The spark comes alive, and you can just see it begin to change in the countenance of our students' faces. And so I think that's what really makes that week really special. And that's what you saw while you were here. Definitely. I don't know if you and your mom had a chance to taste our salsa, our medium salsa that we gave you, but that was our first student started business that began just a little over 3 years ago. And again, through experiential learning, students that were interested in culinary arts, they began working on a recipe. And they perfected this recipe, and they even went out to various restaurants. They received feedback, and the feedback was very positive. And then, Eva, I think you would love this, and your listeners too. But then we overheard one of our students just kind of shout out a dream. And she said, what if one day this salsa was sold in grocery stores all across Oklahoma? And sometimes this happens when big dreams are shared. Some people may laugh, or some people may think that's not possible. But the students, like you just mentioned, like they went all in, and they worked so hard over the course of almost 2 years. And then on April 1st of 2017, so no, this is not an April Fool's joke, but our students actually sold our first jar of salsa in a grocery store. And actually this weekend, they're going to be doing live demos at their 9th store. So the business, over the last 3 years is slowly expanding. And eventually we would love to see this cross even beyond the borders of Oklahoma. So that was the first business we started a few years ago. Absolutely. And so they really, I would say, prepared the way and have inspired then other students here at Loveworks. And so just to tell you just real quickly, our second student started business is called Wrist World. And the name of their business, it's real tech, but they call themselves Wrist World. And Eva, have you ever used by chance a slap bracelet? Yeah, so so what it is, it's a slap bracelet that uses augmented reality technology. And so you can use your smartphone or a tablet and you scan an image on your slap bracelet, and then you get a chance to play an original video game that they created. 60 days ago, they launched a Kickstarter campaign. I think we chatted about this when you were in Norman. And 3 days ago, they just reached their goal. And so now they're working really hard to make plans to create a store-ready product to fulfill, the orders of backers on Kickstarter. And then we have some interested retailers that we met at the International New York Toy Fair back in February. Well, it is, and I bet they did a much better job explaining what it is than I did. I sometimes think that's a great question. Sometimes, Eva, I would have to say during each of my 7 races, I think I ask myself that same question, like, why am I crazy enough to sign up for this again? But it really takes me back though to one of my first big dreams that I had when I was a kid, and I watched a documentary about a father and son. It's a fabulous, fabulous story. And the short version of this story is the son Richard Hoyt. He was born with a couple medical conditions. One, that he was a spastic quadriplegic with cerebral palsy, and this is back in the early 80s. And, computer boxes and screens, I mean, were just being like, that technology was just being developed. And so, I was watching this documentary when I was just about 9 years old. And it told the story about father and son competing together in an Ironman race. And it really, the story just brought me to tears. And I grew up in Michigan, Eva, and on a lake. And so halfway through the documentary, I went into my room, I put on my swimming trunks, I ran downstairs, I jumped off my dock into the water. I swam probably like 25 yards, went back up to my house. I rode my bike, and then I ran. I finished, like, I basically collapsed in the driveway of my house. So I did my first mini triathlon, but I remember that was one of my first dreams, that one day that I would get to Kona and compete in the world championships. So that's part of my why, and that's what really keeps me going to continue to do more races. You are the ultimate encourager. And I heard a little birdie told me that you might be interested in getting involved in the sport of triathlon. So maybe one day we'll do a race together. Wow. I would say that one of the things that I would love to have told my 10-year-old self is that the people around me aren't thinking about me as much as I think they are. So, in other words, my 10-year-old self, Michael, just be comfortable in your own skin and be yourself. And I know you talk a lot about those ideas on previous episodes. And so I think that would have been the biggest thing, is just to be myself and be comfortable in my own skin, and to continue to pursue just the dreams, and to pursue the dreams that are in my heart. One of my biggest dreams that I have for the future is to be able to reach as many students across the world as possible, and pass on to them the idea that they are a leader and they have the opportunity to be an influencer, and not to do this just in the name of Michael or Loveworks, but that would be that'd be a collaborative type of work, that we would reach as many students as we possibly could, as many big dreamers as we could. And so that would be something that would really excite me for the future. Absolutely. I think the best place to find me and learn more about Loveworks would be through our website, which is loveworksleadership.org. I still think somewhere on our website you can find my phone number. It was placed on there when we first started the organization and launched it 8 years ago. It's on there today, so that would definitely be the best place. Well, thank you, Eva. You are a huge inspiration. You've inspired us here in Norman, so continue to do the great work. Bye.
A huge thank you to Michael for being my guest, and again, for being so gracious to my mom and I when we visited Loveworks earlier in the summer. It was an experience that I will never forget, and we look forward to continuing to be in touch and support the Loveworks mission in the months and years ahead. As always, all the links to everything we discuss are on our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/148. Did you enjoy this special episode? If so, please tell your friends and family about the Dream Big podcast. If everyone listening can just tell one person about this episode, that would lead to a chain reaction that would get the Dream Big podcast in front of so many new people, which would be amazing. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever we release a new episode. Finally, if you're interested in being part of the Dream Big Academy, please go to dreambigpodcast.com/beta, and right now we are giving away the Confidence Secrets course for free. Have your parents go to dreambigpodcast.com/beta to get the free course that includes over 1 hour of me teaching you about how to become more confident, which is the key to achieving your big dreams. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Eva Cartman reminding you that you have unlimited potential. Your dreams are not optional, you need to make them essential. So take massive action to turn those big dreams into reality. Live with passion, the way life was meant to be. I'll see you next episode. Bye.